giving you the thumbs up. The Cavs are kicking ass, baby. It's over. It's over. Stop the fight. I was supposed to not be on until after the game, but I'm not waiting until the end of this game. It's time to talk right now, my friends. Absolute domination by the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are going to sweep the Miami Heat. The score at the end of three quarters is Cavs 111, the Heat 63. This is incredible. The Cavs were up 43-17 at the end of the first quarter, 72-33 at the end of the half, and 111-63 at the end of the third. I was not waiting to the end of the game. We're going to see guys come off the bench to play, obviously. Ty Jerome hits a one at the buzzer to cap it off at the end of the third quarter. The Cavs, my God. Ty Jerome, 18 points and 5 assists. DeAndre Hunter, 19 points in this one. Donovan Mitchell got the shooting touch going after he had been slumping. 22 points, 14 points, 12 boards, 2 assists, and 6 steals from Jared Allen. 17-7 and 2 blocks for Evan Mobley. Great game all around. Dean Wade at 5. And now they're clearing out eventually clearing out the bench here. Tristan Thompson in the game. Javonte Green, Craig Porter Jr., Jalen Tyson is in. So that's it. The guys will rest the rest of the way. And without Darius Garland, the Cavs absolutely crushing the Miami Heat 2 games in a row. In fact, in the last 7 quarters of basketball, as we start the fourth quarter here, the Cavs have outscored the Heat, and they just scored a bucket to start the fourth quarter. So since the start of last game, they have outscored the Heat 237 to 150. They've outscored them by 87 points in not even 2 full basketball games to this point. Just incredible what the Cavs have done. So this game is over. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me right now. We're going to talk about the Cavs, who are on their way after another 11 minutes or so of playing time, on their way to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And after an awful first round in the playoffs 2 years ago against the Knicks, an unimpressive but victorious first round against Orlando last year, and a rough injury-plagued beatdown by the Celtics last year in the conference semifinals, the Cleveland Cavaliers put it all together for the first time since the LeBron years and absolutely destroyed the Miami Heat. First 2 games were at least competitive. These last 2 games, without Darius Garland, have been non-competitive. You can name the score. If the bench guys of the Cavs can keep it up, they might score 150 in this game. I don't know, 119-68. I got a poll question in here for you folks. Does the Cavs' domination of the Heat make you more confident they can beat the Celtics? That may seem obvious, but I guess it depends. Are you looking at this Heat series as, wow, for the first time with this current group, they completely dominated? Or is it just the Heat are so bad, I'm not buying into anything until they beat a better team? I think it's a fair question. And what I will say to answer the question is, before this series, if you had said to me that the Cavs would sweep, I would say it wouldn't change my mind at all about what I think the Cavs can do. But I've changed my mind on that because the Cavs have won in such dominating fashion. Now, I know there's going to be some people that say that, there'll be some conspiracy theorists that'll start the nonsense of they're better off without Darius Garland. Obviously, that's untrue. But for them to play this well without him, like to just utterly destroy a team 2 days in a row. They won Saturday by 37, was it? 17? No, 41. Now, my math's struggling right now. 37. That was right the first time. And now they're going to, again, win by whatever they win by. They're up by 50 right now with 10 minutes to go in the game. Obviously, the next round's going to be tougher. It's probably going to be the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are a far better team than the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat were a team that finished under 500. The Indiana Pacers, the 4 seed in the East, just a game back of the Knicks for the 3 seed, finished 50-32. They have played great basketball against Milwaukee yesterday in Game 4 of that series. They pummeled the Bucks, and obviously the Bucks dealing with Damian Lillard getting hurt. So, they didn't get much besides Giannis, Kevin Porter Jr., and it looks like the Pacers will take care of business there. They won by 26 yesterday. Game 5 of that series is tomorrow at 6. So in a perfect world, we'd see the Bucks win that game to kind of push that series a little bit. And obviously the Pacers, again, much better team, playing much better, will be much tougher competition. And they're going to need Darius Garland back, and we'll see what his status is going forward. You need all hands on deck, especially when you get presumably to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I do feel better. I'm not saying that now I didn't think they could beat the Celtics and now I do. It's not to that point, but it has increased my confidence. The fact that they have played with such a dominating killer effort. I don't think the Heat are any good, but what do we say all the time, especially after the first 2 games? They're well coached. They play hard. All their losses are close. Well, these last two games, they've just absolutely fucked them up. Totally kicked their ass. So, and now the Cavs, who got a lot of rest at the end of the regular season, none of the starters are going to play here down the stretch of this game. They're going to be off, until whenever. Obviously, I think the earliest the series might start would be, I guess, Friday, maybe. I think Friday would be probably the earliest. I guess they could play Thursday. I'm not sure. I haven't seen what the schedule is going to be. If the Bucks win Tuesday, could they start by Thursday? I guess, but I don't think so. I guess it depends what happens in some of these other series. But the Cavs will get plenty of rest. They'll get, obviously, at least 3. No, I guess they could play Thursday in theory. So you get at least 2 full days of rest. But I would think it won't be till Friday. And if somehow Milwaukee can win a game 5, which they could, even without Lillard, they could certainly win a game 5. Maybe you push that back and the Cavs get even more time off. But the Cavs are pretty well rested. Obviously Darius with the injury is a concern. But Donovan Mitchell, it was good to see him. I know it's a blowout game, but it was good to see him get the shooting right, because he had not been shooting particularly well. He did not shoot well in Game 3 of the series, even when they won big. So it'd be good to see him have a good game here. I'm looking for this toe injury that Darius Garland is dealing with. Let's see. No contact, workout of practice, was not able to go at full speed. I think he'll be okay. Maybe I'm being blindly optimistic, but I think by the next round he should be okay, hopefully. But you're always going to be careful in terms of injuries and what you think. Let's see what some fans have to say about this, and I want to get to some Brown stuff because the Browns signed Diontae Johnson today. I got some thoughts on that. Chris, hell yes, it does. Isaiah, let's go. Strauss, an ass-kicking. Kirk, I said we would sweep him. Chris, the dude, this is crazy. Sean, the tie shot and his shrug to the crowd. Love it. DS Craig Porter time. Wasted Chief, J.A. Mike J. Bull, what's up? What's up, Jay? Mike J. Steve, what's up to you? Unbelievable. Chris, Cavs beat the Celtics tonight after this game the way they were playing. Wasted Chief time. Cavs, Pacers. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Pacers ain't the Heat, says Wade. Yeah, I understand that. We all get that. Chris, I think this ass-kicking serves as a purpose. Pacers never made my radar the whole season. They're a good basketball team. The Cavs should beat them. They're better. But the Pacers will be much more of a challenge than the Heat, no doubt. Preston says, yo, Bull, do you see the Cavs are kicking ass? I definitely. That's what have we been talking about? Ramzig says, Bull, how do we fix the Guardians? I'll talk about the Guardians for a second. They were terrible again tonight. They've been playing bad baseball now for the last 5 days. This is the story with Gavin Williams. Last week on Monday, I went to see him in person. He looked great. And Zach and I were talking about this morning last year. He pitched a great game, and then he followed up with a terrible game. That's exactly what happened tonight. He got smoked by the Twins, gave up 4 runs in the first 2 innings, got knocked out. 2 innings, 9 base runners, 4 runs. I mean, the Guardians' rotation's been awful. Paul Sewald, who's been awful, got hurt in this one. He left the game. And then the bullpen didn't. Tim Herron had a bad appearance for the first time in a while. Cody Bolton, who made his Guardians debut, got beat up. Now they're throwing. At the end of the game, they were throwing hitters in there. But 11-1 blowout. Listen, they're in a funk right now. Again, they're a playoff team. If the season ended today, long way to go. Don't panic. There's going to be some ups and downs. I don't like the way they're playing, and the pitching's been really bad. Really bad. All right, let me get some more calls. That's the old me. Desmond says, solid win. The team's confidence is growing. Pork chop sandwiches, plus 54 in a playoff game. Wild, long-time listener, Bull. Love this platform for you. Great stuff always. Thanks, pork chop sandwiches. I'd like a pork chop sandwich right now. Wayne says, Bull, dem Cavs on one. Fire emoji. Is that supposed to be lit? I don't know. I'm so bad with my emojis. I'm such a square. Chris says, yes, please talk about that Brown signing. I'm going to get to it. I'm not. I've talked plenty about Shador. I'm not going to talk about Shador right now. We've talked a lot about it in the podcast, so I'm not going to get into Shador now. But I'll get into the Brown signing Diontae Johnson in just a second. All right, let's give you one more update. 6:45 to go in the fourth. 123-69. Cavs leading by 54 points. Will they get to 140? Will they get to 150? Probably not. Anyway, hell of a game. Let's talk about Diontae Johnson. I haven't seen the money on the DeAndre Johnson deal. I don't love signing Diontae. My first reaction when I heard about this, I was out at the Little League field, and somebody told me this. And I said, I don't like this. I spent a lot of time the last few weeks talking about I don't want low-character guys. The Browns have been a bastion for low-character ball players, and it's time for it to change. And so when they signed Diontae Johnson, my immediate reaction was, hey, we don't need this guy. The guy quit on his team. He wouldn't go in the game. Then he's playing with the Texans, and he's yelling on the sidelines like, dude, you're just a guy, man. Who the fuck are you? Plus, he's 28 years old. And for 2 teams to waive you, 3 teams. I'm sorry, 2 teams. You got traded and waived twice. That says something about you. He's not untalented. And so I really didn't like that the Browns signed him. Now, the more I let it sink in the end, they're probably paying him very little. And so ultimately, I'm sure he's probably not getting any guaranteed money. I would hope not, or very minimal. I'm really torn because there's talent there, and the Browns did not address wide receiver at all. They didn't address it in free agency. They didn't address it in the draft. And on paper, he might be their second best receiver. So I'm not going to say it's a terrible move. I just don't love getting involved with another shitheel. And the Ravens traded a 5th-round pick for him to help him in their playoff run. Barely played. He had 1 catch for 6 yards, was suspended for refusing to play. And then they waived him. If you're a bad attitude guy on a team like the Ravens are they have one of the best coaches in the league. They're one of the best organizations in the league. They do most things right. They have a great culture, unlike the Browns. if things are so bad that you refuse to go into play, and then they waive you, and then the Texans waive you because you're a douche. He was waived by the Texans on January 14th after he was visibly upset after playing 15 snaps in a wild card game over the Chargers. This guy, I don't know. Like I said, my first reaction was I don't like it. Then I was like, there's some talent there. It can't hurt. I don't like it. I really don't. Now, I give him a chance if maybe he changes his attitude, and maybe on the field he can help him. You know, he's had some good years in Pittsburgh back in the day. But good organization, forget Carolina. Good organizations like Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and in recent years, Houston, have all been like, kind of done with this guy. That's not a good sign. Refusing to go into a game, I mean, what a douche move. So he seems like a me guy. But because the Browns are not committed to him anything serious, I would assume, I'll live with it. But at any sign of trouble, the Browns should cut his ass and move on. Because the guy, again, has talent. He was a third-round pick. He had a couple good years for Pittsburgh. But he was a bum last year. He was a total waste. And you can't let him again, the Browns have just been such a mess. And he's another messy player. Guy had one really good year. I mean, his second year with Pittsburgh, he had 923 yards, 7 touchdowns. Good, solid year. 2021, 1,161 yards, 8 touchdowns. Since then, in the last 3 years, 3 seasons, he's had a total of 1,800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Like, he's done some good things. He was a solid player, a good number 2 receiver with Pittsburgh. I don't know. If the Steelers say goodbye and Baltimore trades for you, then suspends you and cuts you, Houston, you're such a pain in the ass in the playoff game that they move. This is bad. And I'm sure there's people in the chat going like, he was done wrong. And everybody makes some bullshit excuse like we always do for our own players. The guy was a bum last year. Maybe he could turn it around. Again, they're probably not paying anything. Give him a chance, but I don't have high hopes. I don't give a shit that he went to Toledo either. All right. What do we got here from you folks? Diontae Johnson is the ultimate boom or bust. I don't even know that he's boomer. I mean, he's okay or bust. He's not boom. I mean, he's not. His best is solid, good. Alaskan Dude says hopefully Celtics Knicks go 7. Cavs best chance of winning a championship this year. Nathan, I truly hope the Cavs were gentlemanly to the Heat and bought them dinner. Oh man, that is Phil, why not try him? He's a 1,200-yard, 107-catch guy. He didn't quite have 1,200 yards, but it was 4 years ago that he had his nearly 1,200 yards. Nathan, I was expecting a Cavs victory, but certainly not by 50-plus points. Manuel says lots of flags on Diontae Johnson. Solstice, let's fucking go, Cavs. Wasted time, Chief. Yes, we draft and sign douches. Now why? Jack Bull, have you ever seen a team that battled on the road and totally quit at home? Did they get into the Miami nose candy? I'm floored how this team just flat out quit. It is bizarre. Because, they played tough in Cleveland, but 135-76. Cavs are going for 140. If they want, they can get 150. The Heat have only scored more than 17 points in one quarter, the third. They have 13 in the fourth with 2:51 to go. I'm going to get a few more chats from you. What do we got? We got can we sign OJ? Is OJ dead? Did OJ die? Why do I not know this? I feel like I should know this, right? Didn't OJ die? It's crazy that I don't know if OJ died. Yeah, he did die, right? Good riddance. One other thing on the Browns I wanted to mention that I hadn't seen this, but it popped up in the Diontae Johnson signing. So Elijah Moore, who of course is a free agent, I saw earlier today he visited with the Bills. According to Field Yates of ESPN, who's been a guest in this podcast, Elijah Moore, who sadly ranked second on the Browns last year with 538 yards receiving. A source told Field Yates that the Browns put the seldom used unrestricted free agent tender on Moore. I have never even heard of this thing. If Moore does not sign before the unrestricted free agent tender deadline, I'll look up when that is. I have no idea. If he does not sign by then, he'll be eligible to only sign with the Browns for $3.428 million. I'm not sure. They did that to maybe get some compensation for next year's draft. I would hope he signed. Why would you want to pay Elijah Moore $3.4 million? Is anybody paying him $3.4 million? That's weird. He may now purposely not sign to be back with the Browns. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else. But why would you pay Elijah Moore? He's such a nothing, $3.4 million. It's a weird move by the Browns, but I got to look into that a little more. Maybe there's something else to it that I'm not seeing. Parajat says, I agree, Bull. Johnson is a diva that has done nothing. Wasted time, Chief. Nope, bringing in trash to disrupt the team. It's continuous. John says, appreciate you, Bull. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. I thank you, John. Thank you for all your support, man. I appreciate that you respect my work, but if I didn't have you fans, I wouldn't have the work, man. So I love you all. I really do. Even when I fight with you, even if I call you an idiot, even you call me an idiot, don't matter. It's all good. I appreciate the love and support that I get from Cleveland. I love Cleveland. I am a Clevelander. All the way, baby. John, ready for the Heat to complain about running up the score? I don't give a shit. Fuck them. 58 is the largest playoff win in history. I didn't know that, if that's the case. They're up by 59 right now, 135-76. So they got a chance to break the record. There you go. There's something to look at. Let's see. Oh, he did die. Everybody's saying he died. OJ died, yeah. Which we did confirm that already. Nathan, I believe the Cavs will set a new franchise record for margin of victory in a playoff game. Is the record for just the Cavs or in the NBA? I mean, who would remember that off the top of their head? I don't know. Alaskan dude, Kevin Love appeared. Hugged Tristan Thompson. Kevin Love's father passed. Yeah, that's really sad. Condolences to Kevin and his family. That's sad to hear. Kevin, a great, I had my complaints about Kevin over the years, but from a personal level, he always seemed like a pretty nice guy. So I feel really bad. That sucks. Nothing worse. Losing a loved one. It's awful. Why can't we all just live forever? Except for a few people. Michael, the draft can't be judged until the players hit the field. So true. That's why I hate draft grades. Solo Dolo says, why are the Browns so good at consistently being bad? Delusion and desperation. Barry got scared when Seattle took Milroe and took Dillon, and Jimmy said, let's sell tickets. A lot of truth to that. I pretty much agree with that. Wasted Time says, I would sign any undrafted wide receiver over Johnson. John says, Guardians suck. Nathan, prayers to Kevin Love and family. Solo Dolo, 3 decades of reaching and desperation, consistently being bad. Pork chop sandwiches, July 21st at 4 p.m., unrestricted free agent deadline. For more, thank you, pork chop sandwiches. Good job out of you doing the work for me there. So we got a while, but I don't know. If I'm him, it seems I can't see anybody paying him more than that. Chris Bull, I think the Browns made huge strides in the running back room. I'm very excited about them young bloods. Yeah, I was very, I was a little up and down on the Browns draft, but there's more I liked than I didn't on paper. It's weird to say that because I don't have a lot of faith in Andrew Berry, but I love the 2 running backs they drafted, and I think in terms of that, I think the Browns did a tremendous job. I like both backs. 2 great guests I want to tell you about that are going to be on the bullpen. I'm doing 2 shows tomorrow. 2. Each one will have a great guest. You ready? You see right there, I'm going to be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. My special guest tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Greg Cosell. Greg Cosell of NFL Films he will analyze all of the Browns draft picks, so you get thoughts on that. Now, if that were just all I were doing tomorrow, that would be great. At 11 o'clock, I'll be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. That's going to be great. All right? But then, to wrap it up, tomorrow afternoon, making his return to the bullpen, we will not be live. I'm going to interview him, I will tell you, at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, and I'm going to put that interview out as soon as possible tomorrow afternoon. Joining me at 2:30 in the bullpen, but again, you won't be able to see it till probably 4 or 5 o'clock, for his second appearance, and for the first time since the draft in Cleveland, Joe Flacco will be in the bullpen tomorrow, baby. There you go. So tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening, Joe Flacco with me, one-on-one here in the bullpen. Can't wait. So make sure you're locked in. Again, tomorrow morning live at 9, Greg Cosell breaks down all the Browns draft picks. And tomorrow afternoon, I'm talking with Joe Flacco. Can't wait. Joe and I had a great conversation right at the end of the season in January of 24. I'm thrilled to have him back, and I want his take on everything that's happened. I'm going to ask him about the Browns drafting 2 quarterbacks and what's it's going to be like being in there with all these young guys and trying to win that job. So I'm super pumped. Everybody's reacting on Twitter. I know you're all excited. I will let you know exactly what time we will put that interview out. But like I said, I'm talking to him at 2:30, so I would say probably 4 or 5 o'clock. I'll put out that podcast with Joe tomorrow. So very excited to talk with Joe. He was so awesome. Not only on the field, but it was such a pleasure to talk to when I interviewed him a couple of years ago. So I can't wait. I'm very excited. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks to try to get Joe in, and we're thrilled. Final score, Cavs win 138-83. The final differential is 55 points, so the Cavs do not break a record, but an unbelievable performance, and now the Cavs are officially moving on. 55. Sorry, did I say 53? 55, yeah. Cavs are officially moving on to the second round of the playoffs, 4th largest win in history against probably the Pacers, although, if the Bucks win 3 in a row, then it could be the Bucks. But the sweep, extremely impressive. A lot of fun. All right, thanks again. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. live. Greg Cosell joins me. I will get his analysis of all the Browns picks. Does he like them? Does he not like them? Does he like some? Does he not like some? We'll find out tomorrow live at 9 a.m. And then Joe Flacco in the bullpen tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening. I will post a time and let you know when it's going to be out. So stick around for that. I'll also be on UCSS tomorrow. So there you go. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. And thanks to Max and Z for producing, as always. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. I'm back in just over 11 hours. Until then, we'll see you next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull. Brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.